What's going on, guys? Today what we're working on is a 2012 Nissan Maxima, I believe. Let me check to make sure. Yeah, 2012 Nissan Maxima. This car is having a overheating problem. It overheats only when you've been driving on the freeway. When you come to a stop or you slow down a little bit, the temperature will start to come back down. So what we're going to be doing on this one is changing the radiator. When you take the radiator off on this car, you're supposed to take the condenser out, but I've done plenty of these and you don't have to do it that way. I'm going to try and walk you through the steps of getting through this radiator swap without having to take the AC condenser off and messing with the AC. So the first thing you got to do, I already did. There's this plastic cover. Wait, this one? Yeah. This plastic cover goes up here. It just has these little clips. You just pop these off. Get this cover off. After that, there's another one on this side you could take off. I just moved it up to the top. Next step after that is going to be removing the front bumper. So for the front bumper, usually, most of the time, there's going to be a screw right here on the inside by the headlight. Looks like this side still has it. It's right here. I'm not sure what the size is supposed to be, but they put a 10mm in there. Then the other one is going to be right here in the fender well, right behind this liner. It's another 10mm right there. And then if your car still has the underlining under the car, it's going to have some Phillips head screws. You take those off and then the bumper should come all the way out. So next we got to take off all this stuff in the front. So see, this plastic right here has got two clips there. This guy right here, this whole little support for the front bumper. You got, see, 10. They look like all 10mm. One there, one there. Then you got this guy as well, if your car still has it. Usually they don't have it. Then you got to take out this front bumper. These look like 13s more than likely. Then any of the connectors that are on there, you're just gonna have to get them off. It looks like it's just this one, the ambient air temperature sensor. So next, let's do that. All right, now that you got that off, you should probably start thinking about draining the coolant. And wow, this car, look at that. A huge dent in the condenser. Well, something we didn't see right at first. I wonder if any of this stuff got replaced. Doesn't look like it was messed up, or look like it's been replaced before. So I guess we'll continue. So drain your coolant. You got one connector right here for the condenser, for the AC, and I think this is power steering cooler. I'm not 100% sure, but this little cooler comes out of the way as well. And then you can start after you drain the coolant, you can start moving all this stuff out of the way, but we'll get to that in a second. All right, guys, so what I did was I took off. I couldn't find any place to drain the coolant from. I don't know why. I remember having somewhere to drain, but I didn't see anything, so I took off the lower radiator hose. While that's leaking, while that's draining everything out, I can show you guys the clips for the radiator. Are super simple to take off. These clips right here, all you do is open them up. There's one on each side. You open them up and you pull this back, and that's it. It's that simple. So once you got that all drained out, it sounds like it's almost done. You have another hose up here on this side. This where the radiator cap's at. It's kind of stupid to get to, but pretty sure you can take this one off, and once you take this off, you can get the radiator out. Like, you slide that through and then put it back on the new radiator and put it in, because otherwise the clamp in there is kind of a pain to get to. When you go to take the condenser off, it has these little tabs. I already broke some of them off. It has the tabs on the radiator side, so when you go to take it off, don't worry about breaking them, because you're just replacing if you're replacing the new radiator. Maybe you were looking for a front bumper removal for the condenser, but if you're doing the radiator, you could just snap these off. Condenser pretty much just will come off out of the way. Last thing, I probably should have done this first, but I mean, you can do this in whatever order you want, really. Down in here, over here by the battery, you have your two transmission cooler lines. And they're a little tricky to get to, but in our case, we have the wrong size battery, so we have space right here. If you have the right size battery, you just take your battery out so you can get your hand in here, get some pliers in there. So now that you got that top one off, you can pull the radiator back a little bit, and then there you can see the lower one, and you can get that one pretty easy. After that, the radiator, you just move the condenser back a little without bending it too much, so you don't want to bend these lines, and then you can slide the radiator out. Watch out, fast guy. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about these. So these are the ones that hold this little cooler. These have these little clips right here. There's no way to get to them from the back side, and all I did was pull on them, yank on them pretty hard, and they popped out. They didn't break, so don't be afraid to pull on them kind of hard to get them out. Maybe pry on them a little bit if you want, but I just yanked it. Alright, there's that hose. Moves it back. guys, there it is. Radiator's out, condenser's still in, even though our condenser is pretty beat up, but we're gonna be keeping this condenser. The AC was working fine. We're just gonna try and pull it back a little bit, but there's this radiator, and now you just got to do everything reverse order, put everything back.
I said put that on first, and then
The hose?
yeah, and then because you should be able to move it once it's on.
Yeah.
It's in the hole.
Okay. Cool. Now we have everything put back together. Just gotta add coolant, let it run, let it bleed out all the air, and should be good to go.